Hey y'all, it's Way. It's been a while since I made a video. Had a lot of change over the past, the past few years, but yeah, just recently, past couple of months, I moved back into my old house and went back to my old job. Well, job, business, work. I work for myself, do remodeling work. But anyhow, and with that, and with also just some internal reflection, and really having to face a lot of doubt and conflict within myself and within belief systems within myself, spiritual beliefs, uh, different teachings, modalities, and things of that nature. So there wasn't really a specific flow, to speak from and about a specific context. And with that, there's not a lot to say. So, what are you gonna do? It's been great. It's really been great here. It's been a beautiful time to really step into life, to being, embodying, seeing aspects of self that have been neglected, pushed away, not wanting to be embraced, where there's still a lot of subtle fear in the experience of not wanting to embrace life. I embarked upon a path initially after my original initiatory awakening experience, which could be labeled a lot of different things, type of Kundalini awakening, Nondual realization, different types of things depending upon the context, from which you speak of. Different traditions would call it different things. So that's not really important, but I embarked upon a path of more, you could say, transcendence, negation, non-duality, of negating the aspect of self that is in the world, the persona, the experience of life that we're all here living. And that's that's a big part of all those teachings, is getting rid of, shedding the egoic concepts, false self, belief systems, and all that. But I found that there's a lot of distortions within those teachings and within those leanings. There is a lot of purity in certain teachings, but the way that it gets interpreted to the ego is it's very inviting to overlay and overlook a lot of fear that we have of being in the world. This is an illusion. This is an illusion. You don't need to do anything about it. Just look through it all and don't face that. And this allows for a lot of things to go overlooked. This allows for a lot of immaturity. Yeah, let's call it what it is. A lot of immaturity, a lot of ignorance that's still there. Because if this is an illusion, if you really see that, if that was really the case, like really and fully, what would you be afraid of? Why would you not be chasing your dreams? Why would you not be living to the fullest of what seems to be your calling, your purpose, your highest excitement and desires to assist and be in whatever way? Because let's face it, there's still the presentation, there's still the world, and unless you've had your head under a rock, this reflection that we all share of this world hasn't seemed to be getting more harmonic. hasn't seemed to be, and I say seemed, because we don't, one of my favorite lines from A Course in Miracles is, you don't know the difference between advance and retreat. And so I do see a lot of this, that presentation, I do acknowledge that as part of that purification, you could say, on that collective level of like, it's got to come to be seen. It's got to, like, if you don't want to face something, sooner or later, and you have to face it, it's gonna boil up. It's gonna come to that point. But coming back into seeing, like, okay, why am I trying so hard to escape this? Why am I trying so hard to not be a part of this in that way? There's fear behind that. It's as simple as that. There's fear. There's the desire to not be here. It is what it is. You really blame anybody? I remember when my mom had this good friend when I was a bit younger, and he was dying of cancer. Had I believe it was like stage 4 lung cancer. He still chain smoked his Lucky Strikes up until the end. But he had this quote, and she, I guess she asked him, how he was feeling, about dying, and he's like, die and miss all this, It's like, yeah, that can seem to be a like kind of pessimistic viewpoint, but at some level in the core, I think we all deeply acknowledge, like, this ain't it. There's something better there. We know that, we feel that. And so it plays off of that longing, that truth, that knowingness of that. And it's very good at manipulating that and allowing us to kind of prematurely check out, And in my experience, I found that's not fullness. Emptiness is not fullness. It is what it is. But it's been a journey here, and it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. I mean, there's been a lot of ugliness. There's been a lot of conflict. There's been a lot of confusion, a lot of doubt, chaos, But I've seen that comes from not embracing, not being willing to be and embody right here. In the world, that whole in the world, but not of it. We love everybody really, in spiritual communities, they focus on that not of it part. If you get that it starts out with in the world, but not of it. That's where that full embodiment is. That's where that full, true ascension can take place. Being willing to embrace all aspects. And man, we're in crazy times. I know everybody, so cliche. Everybody says that. But it's the case. I love going back into a lot of Rudolf Steiner's work lately, and find a lot of wisdom there with the understandings of the Luciferic and the Ahrimanic. And where the Christic lies in the middle, the middle way of that. And a lot of the spiritual community has been hijacked into a Luciferic ideology. The Luciferic ideology is not concerned; it wants to fully transcend and that whole just be the light, And there's nothing wrong with that in a certain sense of being able to be the light in the world. But when it's wanting to just escape the world, to not be of it, that's a tragedy. That's a deception. And it's a major one that's befallen many people, myself included. But we don't have to fear that. When we see that in our experience, we can just come back and know. Be willing to be and allow the Christic aspect of ourself that is an aspect of yourself It's the true, you can say that is the true aspect of yourself, your true self. Your true self does not need to escape the world. So on the flip side, is as your true self does not need to be just fully enamored and consumed by worldly stuff. Two sides to the same coin. So, on the flip side, I'm not going to go into the harmonic aspect, which is ramping up tremendously. It's ridiculous. A lot of the AI stuff, these mirror reflections, and trying to play off of information and the what's already there to perpetuate and continue certain limited distortions and paradigms of the world and control it within this bubble. That's wow. That's going crazy. And a lot of folks, within the non-dual community, there's a lot of distortions too with what non-duality actually means and the confusion of polarity within that spectrum. Polarity, dual polarities in that sense does not negate non-duality. And this is where Dr. David R. Hawkins' work is very beneficial in how he explains it. It's just one spectrum. One, not two, one spectrum. This end and that end. And you've got that, this is where the harmonic and the luciferic understandings really come in, because that is the part of this spectrum that is widely confusing and manipulating. You'd say it's the two forces that are essentially manipulating people here on this sphere, on this plane, on this planetary sphere. And that's just through lack of understanding, lack of willing to be, fear, lack of not knowing how to embrace. Does this mean you can't use AI? That you can't use transcendent and meditational techniques and modalities that are no. But it's coming back to the truth of yourself, of that authenticity, of what feels, and God, that word, use that word, the authenticity. I hate it, it gets thrown around. What are you being authentic to? Are you being authentic to a programmed self of a limited reality? Are you being authentic to a luciferic distortion that's just caught up in negating all that? And are you being authentic to true embodiment? And really being true to yourself, and stop looking out here. Like even me, don't take my word for it at face value. Don't take it if you're just going to take everything I say as truth, then you're surrendering your power. Then you're allowing yourself to be manipulated. That goes for anything. If you take that as the full highest truth, and this is it, and only this, then that's that. Then what is there? Then everything else is you're shut out. You're in this bubble. That's it. And some of these bubbles are very comfortable. Some of these bubbles are very blissful. There's heightened awareness, heightened perception, heightened consciousness, connection. It seems to be unity. There's truth there. There's what seems to be love there, peace. But I found these things more to be, if you look at what's framed as like the spiracle nature, is that a word? I don't know, it is now. The spiracle nature of experiencing, it's like if you come along the path and you get to one little spot and you say, okay, oh yeah, this is it, this is good. Everybody says so-and-so says this is good. It's great reflection. I love it. I'm gonna stay here. Well, then anything that tries to pull you higher, keep going back, there's gonna be that uncomfortability. of stepping back outside of that, of back into, your true path, your true alignment, your authenticity. And at a point, you cannot look to anybody, anything out there outside of yourself to be true to yourself as to what that is. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have those guidances, those reflections, they won't continue to be there. But if you're stubbornly clinging, holding on to this or that, then that's limiting. That's a self-limiting belief. That's important to come back to, because nobody's doing that to you. You're choosing that. You're choosing to stay here, to stay there. And really, it is, to me, it's about finding that balance. That balance that is in the world, but not of it. That is allowing the embodiment of that Christic nature within yourself to express and be here now in this presentation. One of the greatest deceptions out there right now is that if everybody just transcends and checks out, that, collective consciousness is going to evolve and descend. There's a line that, it's something like, it's in the Course of Miracles, and it really stands out, because if you read that literature, it's things, the context in which to speak is not spoken of often at all. And it says something along the lines, if there's one slave left on this earth, the work is not done. You are your brother's keeper. And yes, while it is their own individuated personal choice, everybody's to step in and be and participate in whatever system, whatever part of the spiral they want to. The true Christic, it's willing to bring all along. It acknowledges that, all these paths, this isn't right, this isn't wrong, but it still can see and isn't oblivious to the polar spectrum, to that polarity. It can acknowledge a spade as a spade. Does that mean there's judgment there? Does that mean you cannot hold that in love and light and still hold the truth? I don't know. I don't know what that actually means for you in the immediacy, but that's not the truth. You can hold that. You can see those things. The idea that we have to deny and not look on the horrors of the world and negative things that are going on, and why? You afraid of that? That power, that's going to do something to you? That's going to pull you down? Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. So, I just wanted to share this because this has been a part of my journey, and it's been confusing. It's been chaotic at times. It's taken a lot of real self-honesty to be able to see where I haven't been completely fully honest with myself, where I've been trying to ignore, where I've been clinging to old belief systems and things that no longer serve in the sense. That doesn't mean they don't have truth to them, right? It doesn't mean they're not beneficial, that they don't serve, that they might not be aligned or moving towards that Christic path. But I have to see and be honest, where are we now? Where am I now? What serves? What's aligned? What's not? What would be going back into self-deception? What is just self-service? And these aren't fun things to look at. Nobody likes to look back and see like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe, wasn't entirely right here. This wasn't the end all be all. You didn't have it all figured out. You weren't as enlightened as you thought. Oh no. Oh no. Maybe you're being a little bit too dual. Not non-dual enough. That's all garbage, man. You're free. You're whole. You're complete. But if that's not your experience, if you don't feel that, if you're not able to embody and be free and express yourself, speak the truth as you see it, not what's popular, not what could get you more followers, more attention, build up a community, build up a, get some income coming in. That's a whole, I don't even want to talk about that. I want a whole talk about that, the money thing. It's interesting. But I'm not gonna go there now. I've been back working. I've been back focused on money. I got bills to pay. I got stuff. I gave away most of my furniture when I moved out of here and downsized twice, and got like half this house furnished. I gave away more stuff than I have now. I'd like to have a little bit more of it back. I'd like to furnish this other living room I have. Is that wrong? Is that bad? Like a new work truck. Okay. That's okay. On the flip side, I don't really want to be here either. I'd like to ascend to a higher density around, where it's not this, shit show of planet dirt. But I enjoy it here. I'm able to be here. I acknowledge that it is a shit show. Again, you gotta have, if you can't take that at face value and laugh a little bit and chuckle, then, you gotta keep your head pretty deep down in the sand or up your ass. But there's beauty here too. There's love here, truth too. There's wisdom. There's compassion. There's freedom, justice, and those that would fight for that. Ooh, fight? Oh no, not fight. Let's not fight. Oh, we're not fighting. Not in a certain sense of the word. But fight just by being that sort of truth. We're here. We're here. What are we gonna do? Choice is yours. Nobody's making it for you. So, thank y'all. I love y'all. If you're going through a hard time, if you're struggling, confused, having doubts, it's okay. It's okay. You can't escape that. You can't deny that. You can pretend that it's not there. You can shove it to the side, but you're going to have to face that. You're going to have to try to get honest with yourself, even if that honesty just means saying, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I see. I don't know what I believe anymore. I don't know what the hell's going on here. That's a good place to be. Beats denial. It beats pretending. It beats lying. So you are not alone. We're here together. We have tremendous support. Tremendous support on both sides. Both the Luciferic and the Ahrimanic aspects will and do and are forced to serve the Christian, whether they want to or not. So don't fear them. Fear not. All fear is illusion. Walk through no matter what. I love y'all. Thank you. Thank you for letting me share this. All right. Peace and love, y'all. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Bye.